people ask about home education, especially when it comes to, well, they've deregistered, then the next concern is the local authority and
Yeah.
what is expected of them. What should they be doing? Could we start with that question?
Yep. So you send your dereg letter, you wake up that first morning. What am I meant to do? Nothing. There you go. End of conversation. Genuinely, we say do nothing. Go and have fun. Be a family. Spend time together. Jump in puddles, climb trees. Don't matter how old any of you are. Go and do the fun things. Get to know your child again, especially if they've been in school a long time. So, legally, you must provide an education that is full time, but that doesn't mean school hours. There
Mm,
is actually no description of full time. So it's down to how you tell the local authority it is full time. You're in control, not the local authority. So you can follow term times, school hours, but you don't have to.
mm,
And learning is all types of learning. So it's the conversations at midnight with your teenager. It's those 5 a.m.s. Mum, quiz me on my 2 times tables while your kid bounces on your bed and you're like, go away, leave me to sleep. That's it is the jumping in the puddles, it's the climbing the castles, it's everything. So it's all hours. So
yeah.
full time is quite easy to provide with home education. It's not just
Mm,
those formal hours.
mm,
So full time, that's a legal requirement. And then it has to be suitable to the child's age, ability, aptitude, and any special needs. And that is pretty much all that is actually legally required of you.
okay.
But to most of you and me in those early years, that makes no sense and doesn't help you in the slightest. So, in real terms, it means doing what works for the child.
Yeah.
So, in school, they have to learn what everybody else is learning, whether it's easy or too hard for them, or whether they can get it done and then have to sit there for half an hour in silence. None of that applies with home ed. It's what is right for your child. So if you've got a 10-year-old that is interested in A-level maths and can do it, that's suitable. If you've got a 10-year-old that struggles to add 2 and 2 together, but you're doing everything to support that learning, that is suitable.
Mm,
And that's the key. It's what is right for your child.
mm,
So as long as the learning encompasses literacy and numeracy, there are no rules beyond that.
yeah.
What you provide just has to suit your child.
Yeah. I was chatting to someone, I think it was like yesterday, and she's like, "Oh yeah, oh, hang on, what year were they? I think they were going into year 7 or 8. That sort of age." And she was considering home educating, but they'd lost a lot of time in school. They hadn't been full time, so the maths was lacking, but they were quite competent with English. So I was like, well, you could then get maybe year 7 maths course and see how that goes, but then you could start the GCSE English language.
Yeah.
It's
So
just, yeah,
what
it's
one
brilliant.
of the important things is to remember is the minute you deregister, your child is not behind. Your
Mm,
child on that day is where your child is at. So when it comes to notifying the local authority of how your child's doing, when the local authority make inquiries, you have that base. My child left school unable to read. A year later, doesn't matter how old they are, if they left school unable to read, a year later and they're able to read 4-letter words, that's progress.
mm,
That is where your child is at. And like you said, they might be really good at maths or literacy or
yeah,
whatever, or science, but really struggle with another topic. And year group, yes, if you're going to do the formal learning, year groups sort of come into it because the resources tend to be aimed at school
mm,
children as well, not just home ed. But it it doesn't matter if your child is year 7 and doing year 7 work. If it's too complex or too easy, it's not suitable. And
yeah,
that's where the key comes in. But in those early weeks, you're not going to have a clue what you're doing, and that is perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Let's take the local authority out of the equation for a minute, because they're not really to be feared as much as we fear them.
Yeah.
Yes, they can be horrible, but we support people with that. Don't let that affect how you home educate. We will help you with that element.
Mm.
But when it comes to the actual education, you've just got to take a step back. And if you deschool for a while, which unfortunately local authorities don't understand the term deschooling, they think it means no education. But
Yeah.
what it really means is letting your child figure out where they're at,
Mm.
getting rid of those school preconceptions of sit still, shut up, eat when we tell you to, go to the toilet when we tell you to. No, you can't ask a question. You've
Mm.
got to get that out your system and see learning in all the ways that it takes place.